So today I might have a different look. Yes, I do agree, and that is because today I'm going to talk about something a bit more professional, a bit more detailed and in guide. As the title of this video said, I'm going to talk about the implications of AI and how you should use AI to move forward more people. Now, who am I and why should I listen to? Why should you listen to me? Not gonna lie, I have no degrees to justify myself because I don't believe in degrees and certificates to justify myself. But to put this into perspective, I've built multiple projects with AI. I cannot showcase anything for that, and that is still my problem. But then I do know how to use AI in such a way that I can convince you, at least, let me try, to use AI in a way that could change the way you view your world. But then I'm not going to talk about specifically that. I'm going to talk about the implications of AI and how should you come back to that. How am I resonating with AI into my normal daily life? And the reason why I want to ramble a long time with this because I was coding using AI, and right now my app is compiling and building up so that I could just run it. Yeah, so first, AI. What is AI? AI is artificial intelligence. That, to be specific, is actually another word of cybernetics, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But then that was the original word, but someone said, nah, this doesn't sound good. So they changed it from cybernetics to AI, of course. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that's what I know. So AI is generally like, in general, is like those things you use in your normal daily life. Like Spotify uses AI. It learns what music you like and then recommends more of that music. There's machine learning and AI. And AI, mostly, we all know the LLMs, large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. Now, let's move further and directly to the topic. What will AI do, or what is AI doing? Let me give you first some context, and you should understand that why AI will disrupt a lot of people's professions, jobs, and how they view and deal with the world in a normal day-to-day basis. Now, for example, I, as myself, like the first time, at first when I was learning, developing, and making applications, AI was just getting started. Like I was unlucky or lucky enough to get into the period of to get into developing at a period whereby AI was just getting started. Therefore, there was a technology of when you click tab tab tab, just code just appears for the non-technical people, of course. Just code appears when you click tab 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 tab. It was called autocomplete. It was really massive, but I never used to use it because I really used to depend on the code that I write on my own. I was too arrogant to use AI. So the moment I realized that being arrogant to use AI was just me and my ego, like it was just me being in the suit of that I am supposed to have that. Like I gave myself generally like a character that, see, I as Elson, I am a developer. I know how to code, and I learned how to code the hard way. Take that line seriously. I learned how to code the hard way. And therefore, because I learned how to code the hard way, AI should not, using AI basically and justifies or removes that value of me learning something, especially coding, the hard way. Now, like anything else in life, if you're professional, you must have, if you're a professional, let's say in some field, any kind of field, you must have taken a long time to learn that thing, and especially taken a lot of energy, experience, and all that kind of things. Now, imagine being a professional, being a professional in writing, and then bada boom, bada bang, 2026, AI Claude can write better than you, like can write infinitely better than you. This is a problem. The digital world, the industrialized world, the time of industrialization majorly on the planet is over, but we're dealing with the effects of it. One among the effects of industrialization, especially globally, is the commoditization of art. The productization of art. The productization of things that give us value. The productization of things that we perceive good due to their experiences, not due to their product themselves. Now, look carefully. Films, music, art, any kind of thing that involves someone really creating something nowadays is productized. Like everything now can be put a price on it. It's like the industrialized world has been made to optimize for profits. That's why this is like this. Everything has been turned to a product. Music was generally where a person sang and had fun. If it doesn't matter if they made it or not. Now productized, copyright. The same to writings, the same to books, the same to everything else. Now everyone, especially I'm targeting artists and people who build things. The first thing you should keep in mind as we're going into the AI era is that change your mindset. As embedded as it is to your DNA that your art or your building or your craft is with, as in a product to be presented to everyone, that's not where we're going. Where we're going, people would like experiences. For example, like for the past decade and a half or so, we have really pushed for the values of that you need a course, or let's say a coaching program or such kind of things to give you knowledge to do things. But now today knowledge is so abundant, it's so commoditized. Like you don't understand how much I could learn more from just going through a rabbit hole in the internet rather than I could learn at school, because at school knowledge is prioritized, it's packaged, it's lifted somewhere. But then nowadays, in the normal basis, knowledge is just everywhere. Just a click of a button, you can Google anything to anything. That was the way it is for like a decade or so. But now we have AI. Now this AI can personalize the information you find for you. Why am I saying all of this? Personalization means you have experienced. Personalization means there's some sort of experience that went into doing something. So when art and such like things are built, like apps and great things like machines were commoditized, this changed the directive and the incentive of these things in the first place. Now I've not touched heavily on developers because it's a different story from there, but let me touch more on art. So as an artist, as a creator, you should first be able to understand that your art is not a product. The value in your art can only be found first within yourself, and the value can be first found within yourself when you value the experience of making the art. I am more prone to promoting my music, to promoting my song, if I enjoyed singing the verses of that song, rather than just getting the product or the commodity from a producer and making it like with AI models. I'm less likely to produce it because I do not feel the experience. I do not feel the pain of pushing the thing forward. Now, what does this mean? The first thing that you should understand, like among the things that you should understand as you grapple with this, is that now we are moving from an era whereby everything was a product, and now we are going to an era of everything is an experience. Experiences matter much, much more than products. This is the same to, I think, every industry except like the manual kind of work industry, because yeah, that's not going anywhere anytime soon. Robotics is not going anywhere. So the first way to like sort of grapple and get off of that kind of system and to get into the new way of doing things is to start actually being present and enjoying the things you're doing, as controversial or as indifferent as it might sound. What you do nowadays doesn't matter. It's the experience of what you're doing. So now change your perspective. What you're doing is now useless, basically useless. I'm talking to artists and creators, mind you, not developers, not corporate jobs. I'm going to go through those kind of things later because I really took my time to think about these things very, very deeply. Now that's done for artists. I'll come back to you later, but for now, developers, corporate jobs, and basically all these jobs are saying, oh, AI is going to replace all of them. See, as a developer, the main point of me, I'm using a developer, but you can take this into any really sector in your life. So as a developer, what you're supposed to do, like, okay, let me tell you first my story. When I entered developing, like making apps and this kind of things of building and such kind of stuff, I never entered to making apps because of the code. Like, I think we all forget this. As a developer, the happiest thing to ever happen to me, or the most initial thing that gave me purpose the first time, is right now there's a whole desktop PC there. The first time I turned on that desktop and opened something and then it worked, that felt like magic. That felt like, I don't know. It felt like, I don't know. It felt like a god. If don't take this badly, meaning I mean that you felt like I actually had power over something. You can do things beyond what the normal is. So I entered developing in the first place and making apps because I just like the things working. Like, there's a difference between these two types of developers. There's the type of developer that mostly came for something like money, or like mostly driven by money, or driven by, I don't know, the novelty or the pride in knowing how to code. Those guys are the ones you meet, or usually meet, saying, "Oh, AI is bad, I don't use AI," or because they're so driven pride, they've driven so much pride into their skills, into how they do things. They never ever ever wanted to, like, feel the magic of building things. They don't want to feel what does it mean to build things. Now, for example, as soon as this AI thing came, at first I was skeptical. The reason I was skeptical is because I basically felt my skills, and I felt threatened by the ability AI had, especially as I was a beginner in this kind of things. Mind you, this is about a year and a half ago. It felt threatening, and it was really indeed scary. But then over time, I realized that I never came to coding and developing because of the code. The code is boring. It's useless. Like, to me, the code is like, I don't know, right to the bin. It's like math formulas and everything, like syntax and all that kind of things. Developers, you understand what I mean. But I never came for that. I came here because I knew that if I could just write print, then some brackets and some quotes, then hello world, and click run, holy shit, the terminal writes hello world. That felt so good in the first time. And thinking that today we have moved from print hello world to basically telling AI make an app that writes hello world, it's like changing languages. Like, we're in that, we're generally, I'm confidently saying this, like we're generally changing the programming languages. Because in the beginning, in the history of developing languages, and you can look this up in any domain, it's just like this. The beginning, things were like direct machine code. I think it was assembly, if I'm not mistaken. Then from assembly, C, Sharp, I don't know, Python. The way developing is, like, Python was really an opening gate. Now AI is going to be that next opening gate. So my camera is about to die, and I hope you got something at least from this part one. This, yes, is a sequel, and yeah, those are my thoughts on part one, how we should be coping with AI. Part two coming soon, and I'll catch up next time. Cheers. Take care.